Good evening, or should I say good morning, and welcome to Think About It Using Common Sense. I normally come on in the evening around 6, but it's just so much going on in the world today. I couldn't help myself. I just had to come on and talk about some of this stuff. Yesterday, it was a terrible, terrible thing that this driver driving on a one-way street at night. I think they say had his headlights off on his car. Ran down a mother, three children crossing the street. Now, the mom lost her life, and one of her daughters is in the hospital with major head injuries. No one knows the outcome of that. And two other little girls, children were, they survived, without injuries. But when you think about the senselessness of such an action, here this woman, Mother's Day is in a couple of days. These three daughters have lost their mom. Another daughter laying in the hospital with brain injuries because some individual, senseless, his life is messed up as well, for probably nothing. I'm sure there's nothing that could even come close to uh, being worth what happened to that family and even to himself. So what the heck is wrong with people? Something is wrong, and it's something that cannot be fixed with adding more police officers. That's all they talk about. But this is a mentality. This is a mentality. It's almost like a disease that has affected people in this country. There's no other country in the world that has the violence that we have here in America. And when you think about the opportunities in life that can be achieved along with your goals here in this country. And I mean, not this isn't the only country now that people can have a comfortable life in. Maybe there's some countries that life could be a hell of a lot better than here. Because you know, in America, if you don't have any money, it's hard to make it. You can get assistance or something like that, but you can't really do anything on assistance. But you can. There's opportunities here that I think that's unavailable in a lot of other countries. That's not being taken advantage of. And a lot of the reasons why these things are not being taken advantage of or the opportunities, it's simply because uh, people are not aware of something. They haven't been told. Uh, there's too many unachievers, as if there's only a select few has the opportunity or the mentality to acquire these upscale jobs, which is a lie. But at the same time, the lifestyle and the way people are living and their values uh, also dictate their future. And it's just as if some people here don't value in education, do not value life, do not value the quality of life. They don't even think about it seems to be, because if they thought about it, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. And not only people, when I'm talking about this, you think I'm talking about people of low mentality, low income, lack of education. But we have role models. We have politicians that's supposed to have been elected to help run this country, help the American people to do the programs to keep things in order. But they're the ones who have really misrepresented themselves and misrepresented the American people who elected them in office to do a job. Uh, and there's so many of them. I can't even begin to start calling names, because if I do, I'd be sitting here all day long. And we can't cover up uh, the truth. And the title of this podcast today is, Can the Truth Be Handled? I'm going to repeat that. Can the truth be handled? And the reason I'm asking that, or this is the title of the podcast, because it seems to me as though the truth cannot be handled. Hypocrisy and lies have taken first place, have taken truth and pushed it to a point whereas if you tell the truth, you get penalized for it. And when I mentioned politicians a few moments ago, or a few seconds ago, we look at a Republican who I think most of us know, Liz Cheney, for example, among a few others. She lost her seat in government. Now, you think about this. She lost her seat in government for telling the truth. For telling the truth, she came out and spoke against ex-President Donald Trump. And she was telling the truth now. And she lost her seat. They voted her out of office for telling the truth. Now think about it. But yet, the same ex-president, the same man that she was telling the truth about, okay, got indicted in the state of New York. He just was found guilty of rape. He's been impeached twice. He still have other offenses uh, against him, not to mention so many other things. But yet, when Liz Cheney came out and spoke against this, even though she's a Republican and she voted for him, but she said, there's a line I will not cross. And that's where respectability comes in. But there's so many other Republicans in office drawing paychecks from the taxpayers that denied and refused to accept Joe Biden as our president, who was elected fairly. Even though there was a news channel who just settled with the government for $750 million because they were lying. And they knew they was lying. They came out and admitted lying to the people about January 6th and about the election 2020. So they were found guilty. They was confessed. You even heard them saying. But yet these Republicans in our government to this day is still supporting the ex-president. Then you go figure that. But now I have moved that past them. It's the American people, their voters, who they are dancing to their tune. Because if they weren't elected into if they weren't, excuse me, if they weren't elected into office, or if they felt a threat of being not supported or voted out of office, they wouldn't be doing what they're doing. So this is the American people now. This has gone beyond the Republicans, you know. And Santos, oh my goodness, George Santos, oh my, they found the FBI or CIA, whoever it was, they finally got him. He was just too much out and out lies about everything. But the only way you're gonna stop this runaway train of hypocrisy and lying and supporting coups and insurrection on our government, the only way you're going to stop it, you've got to start holding people accountable. And if they break the law, lock them up. And that's been a problem. There's been no accountability. These people can do whatever they want to do, and it was okay. And that's the shape. That's the reason why that's the reason why we are what we are today. And it's the people in office been running all this stuff, man. Why is it seems like every time the debt ceiling come up, there's a problem? Why is that? I've noticed it every time. Some may let it go for a day, or even if they pass it on time, they want to throw all that stress. Excuse me, I don't know I guess it's early in the morning for me. They want to throw all that stress on the American people of being everything being shut down. How you gonna shut down a country? You people, if it does come to that, where are the people that's supposed to be doing their jobs, holding meetings for lies, something they know they did wrong, and trying to correct it? You can't correct a lie. You only do it with the truth, and you're not putting forth the truth. You're sticking to lies and trying to convince the American people that it's the truth, and that's where the problem comes in. But it doesn't seem to be a bigger problem as it should be, because it should never even have come to that. But that just goes to show you the mentality of the American people that they have control over. It's got to stop. And the only people going to stop it is the American people by voting these people out of office. It's a joke, man. I can't even, if I took an application to a local fast food place, first thing they're gonna look at my resume. If my resume isn't clean, if I've been uh, indicted, been found guilty of rape, found guilty of not found guilty, but been caught with secret documents, tax evasion, and I'm getting hired for a job. You're gonna hire me? Come on. But with these qualifications on me, it's been proven some of those things. And you gonna tell me you're allowed to run for president of the United States, the highest office in the world? Where is the mentality of the people? I don't care if you Democrat, you Republican, you this, you right, you left, you bottom, you top. People, you got to have some kind of guidelines for the president of the United States. But you don't. It seems like all these rules of laws that's out here, they pertain to the people. not to the government, not to the politicians who's in control, not to the bankers. We only had 3 banks collapse. Man, my my language is off. I guess because I'm just so overheated with the stuff that's going on and the stuff that's just going on and people are not really paying attention to. They might address it, but who cares? If somebody out here embezzle billions of dollars and all of a sudden you catch them, then you slap them on the hand with a probation or something. They don't care. That's no punishment. They keep the money. It's no punishment. No deterrent from committing these crimes. It's just it's terrible and it's getting worse, people. It's getting so bad that they had to they had to start uh, making examples because the train was running away with all the dishonesty and the theft and the disrespect for the rules of laws in this country. It's gone, man. And he even talk about the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court, the highest court in the land. Well, you're supposed to go there when everything else failed. You can go to the Supreme Court and know you could get some honesty, an honest opinion, honest results. Supreme Court is corrupt. But yet now they'll blame people for saying that all the Supreme Court is corrupt. But who corrupted the Supreme Court? The judges. And if you're not corrupt, then you know what the rules of laws are that pertaining to a person, to an individual being a Supreme Court justice. And if those laws are broken, then you have to do something about it. Can the truth be handled? And apparently the truth cannot be handled. It's almost like you're having the wolves in charge of the chicken coop. And then they're looking around for everyone else that's in the chicken coop when the chickens are missing. We got to clean this mess up. No, it's self destruction. We're on our way to self destruction. Bottom line, because if the government doesn't step in to clean this up, and they're trying, but look at the insurrection. Look at the people that started the insurrection, and look who's in jail. Yeah, yeah. Look at the ones who started it now. Look at the ones who benefit from it. The ones that they're in jail, sitting in jail right now. Gotta be feeling like a fool. But anyway, why would you want to go against your country anyway? It's beyond me. What you do, you clean it up. It's okay if you're gonna win when you're in a race and you're winning. It's a race now. This is what races is all about: winners and losers. That's what a race is all about. So if you can win and everything is okay, and you win by the same system, now when you lose, you're gonna cry foul. Now everything is bad. Now the only thing is bad is the loser, especially if you run in the same system by the same laws. Now all of a sudden you lose, everything is bad. And then you have people that know better. Excuse me, I'm sorry about this. Now that you have people that know better, politicians that know better, supporting the nonsense and still in office, they need to go. They need to go. Because apparently, people, if there's an insurrection or coup in this country, the people suffer. The people suffer, and the only people that benefit are those who benefit from an overthrow of the country. So those people that supported that mess, they don't care about us. I'm not talking about color here. I'm talking about people, rich or poor. And it's time. It's just time for a change. Time for a change. I wrote a few things down that I want to talk about. Because sometimes uh, you want to talk about. I want to talk about things, but I don't uh, remember them sometimes until after I'm gone. Uh, talk about people as a whole. I look at uh, people supporting everybody. You know, all the money, the majority of the money come from the people, and it comes from the people. But actually, the money is just more or less moved around. Uh, and it's as we know, money is a medium of exchange, and it enables you to have power if you have a certain amount of it, and to keep people under control, uh, 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 for you to maintain your position in power, then people have to be held in a certain level. You know, everybody can't be educated the same way, because if they do, then there's too much competition. Or if too many people, say for example, if excuse me, say for example, with the health system, for an example, if everybody was healthy, if everybody was healthy and took care of themselves, there wouldn't be as need with so much need for assistance and health care, hospitals, medicines, and all this. It wouldn't be so much need for that. But behind the fact that if everybody was educated when they're very young, they live a lot longer and be a lot healthier than they are today. What's happening today is things are coming to fruition that the kids back 10, 20, 30 years ago, even some of the stuff is working so fast, it's happening sooner. But you get a lot of things. You get a lot of things from eating sugar, a lot of things from eating all these chemicals that's being put into the food, and your eyes with radiation, with all the high def and technology and televisions and computers that we're sitting in front of, and cell phones that we have next to our ears, and uh, types of bread, and just, I mean, everything affects you. Everything. Some be it good or be bad. It affects you regardless. So the first thing would be the consumption. First thing to be is the consumption. Cut back on everything you're doing. That's the first thing. You see, uh, we went out to lunch yesterday, and food, these restaurants put on a plate, it was crazy, mind boggling. the people eat. I mean, they had French toast, for example, and they looked like they had a loaf of bread on the plate. French toast, man. I said, good grief. And everything's like, you know, bread and potatoes. Oh man, it was just too much. Too much. And when you think of consuming all that stuff, you think about your body, people need to cut back on eating and focus more on what does your body need in order for it to function. But we can't focus, they don't, that's not profitable for people to think like that. It's healthy, it's not profitable. And that's a situation that we have put ourselves in. Just like this might be not a good analogy, but you look at the principle of what I'm saying, not what I'm saying. Uh, and the principle is the fact that we look at all the crime that we're having today, and we'll say that based on our environment and how we live. So that's being what's being put into our mind. There's an overly abundance of, uh, of violence being put into our mind. Um, and that violence and not enough being put into our minds about uh, the qualities of spirituality, so to speak, uh, because spirituality isn't profitable. And the violence that's being put into children is being manifested today in their actions. All that stuff, the violence and stuff that we see every day, the sex and stuff we see every day goes into your mind. Well, when you think about uh, food and what we put into our bodies, that we can't stop that. We can't stop it because we have built an economy around that. You see, we built a whole healthcare system around people getting sick. And this is what's getting ready to come down the pike now is all the stuff that we've been taking into our bodies and our minds is coming down the pike physically. And we are suffering for it. And we're going to suffer even more. Because for every action, there's a reaction. And these things are not going to be stopped all of a sudden. It's not. And what we're seeing now is happening more and more. Nobody cares about human life. A human life day means absolutely nothing to so many of us. And we have to go back, to incorporating uh, the right way, the proper way of doing things. And you say, well, what is the proper way? Well, that's what history tells us. How do you know what plant is good and what plant's bad? Do you realize a lot of people died from eating the wrong plant until they found out, hey, you don't eat that because if you do, you're gonna die. So you eat the other plant. You see, you eat it's a process. It's a process that you have to go through to find some of these things out. And the thing with humans is in spirituality, we have clogged our mind and our bodies with so much junk and so much negativity. You can't even think. You have no idea what's right, what's wrong. And that's based on the only way you get to it once you start developing yourself. It's nothing that you have to think about. It's nature, it's natural. It automatically comes to you, just like a plant. When a plant grows, it automatically grows up because it gets nourished. It grows up because even though the gravity holds it down, but the sun, it goes up to life. The sun generates life. And we have put a cover over that. We put a cover over life, and that cover is spirituality and God within. All we do now, we just want to do whatever we can do because we know death is at the end of all this. So we're going to do whatever we can do. It doesn't even matter. You don't even realize how valuable life is. This is the most valuable thing on the planet, in the universe. And you people walk around like it ain't nothing. I've never seen anything like it before. But I had to learn. I didn't always think like this. This is what's important, people. You work your whole life, accumulate money. On your deathbed, you give it all away. You give it all away just so you can live some more. Does that make sense? It's stupid. Make money, yes. But you don't live for it. You have a purpose in life. If you don't have no purpose in life, then why are you here? You only have a reason to be here. And spirituality gives you that. Spirituality gives you that purpose for life. There are trees that live 5,000 years old or more. You know that? You know that? With all I heard this lady the other day. She came on and she was talking about humans. She was talking about the body, the mind, what you can do, life, death, this and that. And she was talking. She was some professor. I was talking about this 40 years ago. It's not a big deal, but the thing about it, it's always been there. But if you don't have any knowledge of it and seek it out, it's just laying dormant. It's laying dormant. And what you don't use, you lose. We got to get back in touch with ourselves. We got to get back in touch with reality. We got to get back in touch with the truth, and we're going to have to live it. We live it and pass it on. The only way you find out about things, you have to do it. You have to do it. How do you know water is wet? You know? How do you know what it feels? How do you know what wet? I put it this way. How do you know what wet water feels like? Unless you get in it. Don't. And that's how life is. In order to live, you got to get in it. You got to stop this mess what you think is okay. You got to stop wasting your life. You've got to stop wasting your money. You've got to start, if you want to live, if you want a nice environment, if you want nice apartments and clean streets, then keep them clean. They're trash cans to put your trash in. If you want nice homes with low rent, then guess what? Come together as a people, form a corporation, buy, build, develop, and own your own real estate, your own neighborhoods, set your own rent. Because what you're doing, you're giving is just you're putting yourself in a mental and physical jail. You let developers come in your neighborhood, out of town, where you don't know who they are. They come in, they buy up your town, your city, your neighborhood, and develop them. Okay? And then you rent it. They're rented to you for top dollar. Half you can't, 3/4 can't afford to live in them, but they still own them, and they're not selling them because you have got to own somewhere. As long as this planet is here, and you have a family, and you got family members, you're going to have to live somewhere. And every day, real estate is getting higher and higher and higher. And you selling your property like fools if you don't have to. Keep it in the family. And families need to come together and look out for one another. We need to break all these barriers down between, oh, you don't speak to that person in the family, you don't speak to this person in the family. If the family members, listen to what I'm telling you, If the family members got together, all your family members, who knows how many family members you have? If all of them got together and put $1,000 over time, $1,000, $2,000, whatever you can afford, form a corporation within the family, and go buy some real estate, buy you start a business or something that the family owns. This is how you survive, people. One person out here don't care. You can't do nothing. But that's what it is. All this individuality out here. You know, they come in there. You support a star. You go ahead and give a star all your money. Star take that money and move on back to where they came from in their mansion now. In their 4 or 5 mansions and cut you off. That's it, man. They got your money gone. You stuck back there worrying about how to pay your bills for the next 2 months or so. It's stupid. Then they charge you an arm and a leg. They charge no, not an arm, 2 arms, 1 leg, and everything else. They do. People got to wake up. It's okay. I'm not saying don't support, don't do this, don't do that, but you're getting overcharged. So I'm trying to tell you, you got to look at things. You can't afford something, people. That tells you something. If you can't afford it, you can't have it. If you want it, you save up for it, you find a way to work, do extra to get it. You don't go in debt for something. But that's another game that's being played on us all. That debt. This country is about maybe 40 trillion dollars in debt or more. Who knows? In debt. And now we're talking about now passing the debt ceiling. You're already in debt, so you broke. You understand? It's a system. It's a game that's being played. But it works. It keeps things going. But the rich gets richer, the poor gets poor, and no matter how bad things are, the rich do not see an inflation. They don't see nothing. It's the poor people. And they sit and talk about, oh, how we gonna do this and how we need this and what we don't need. They don't know what we don't need. They don't live in the ghetto. They don't live down here with us. They live in a whole different world. You know, they get in that yacht and go have a cup of coffee in the morning. You understand? It's just a matter of change. And you have to change your mind. And you can live. You can live. Old age, the woman, I mean, and she said, I don't, you, the thing she was saying was right, but do people know how to get there? See, everybody can tell you, oh, they, this. But can they tell you how to get there? You have to develop yourself. You have to shut things out of your mind. Things that you have to focus on your mind. You know, people, and you know the funniest thing too. People talking about getting up. They get a say people get a facelift or they get wrinkles out of your skin and stuff like that. You know, tighten your skin up. Well, wrinkles comes from father time. How your body, the expressions of your body when you talk, when you blink your eye, when you raise your forehead, you don't. That's where wrinkles come from. If you just talked a little bit, didn't laugh a lot or this and that, you wouldn't have. The wrinkles are based on your indentations, comes from your expression over time. So then, when you get old and you start doing that stuff again, then what's going to happen? Though that tightness is going to take the form of those same wrinkles that you tightened up. So now you got wrinkles on top of wrinkles. So now you always got to get that stuff. If you don't, your whole face gonna drop. Your whole face gonna drop down to your chest. You know, and it's simply deterioration of the body. But we have to be aware of these things. And you can live as long as you want to live, but you got to know how to do it, how to conserve, how to think. You know, the same when you think about things in life, you have to remember, where do these things come from? Everything, everything that we make is a copy of some function that takes place within the human body. It is either that or something that you see in nature that you putting together. You don't get something from nothing. No, you don't. You know, only thing you get from nothing is nothing. You understand? That's the only thing you get from nothing. If you don't do anything, if you do nothing, then you get nothing. Just that simple. Life is so simple. But people complicate it. Number one, when they try and keep you ignorant, keep you from knowing what they know. So this way they don't have any competition. You know what I mean? So it'll be easier for them, you know, wherever they go. Because a lot of people they think that it's something and it's not. All that glitters is not gold. That's a very true statement. Grass may appear greener on the other side. Doesn't have to be. Doesn't even have to be grass. Right? So you need to take the time to live and take the time to love yourself. Take your time to meet people. Take the time to talk with people. That's how you learn. You'll be amazed at how nice people are or how nice they can be. You don't do that, you know, you'll never know. And a lot of times, see, another thing people realize that people, if they don't know you, people respond to your actions. You know, you go somewhere with an attitude and this, people can pick that up, man. They respond to that. You know, they respond. Some people are very, very, very smart, very smart. I mean, to the point whereas they can walk in a room and look at you and tell what that person you are. Yeah, some people make their living on being able to, understand people and pick people by their actions. They know how to maneuver people. They know how to say some things and watch how you react. And that's how they know how to treat you, react to you. There's so much to be learned. But yeah, people go ahead and give their life up for nothing. But they don't, that's because they don't know any better. That's because they have been pulled in that direction. You know, a baby isn't born with a gun in his hand. But the DNA, their offsprings, not only physically, but also mentally. If you come from parents, if you come from a violent parents, parent, that child can have that violent instinct within him or her. So that means that something could ignite that child, and right away that child will be violent and mean and doesn't even know why he or she is that way. Come from you or come from your great grandparents. Because you are the end product. What we are the end product of evolution. Years and years of evolution. We are the end product of that. So that means everything that's in them is in you. And the only thing that can control that is the knowledge that you obtain. You know what I'm saying? But how can they and just give you even a clearer example? How do you when they breed stallions and for horse racing, something like that, they'll breed them of the same DNA or just come from the same herd or whatever, and that's how they get that colt that will have that same trait. It's the same. But see, anytime you mess with that, and that's why scientists come in, they're messing up. Because when you come in and you interfere with that, then you don't interfere with the birth of that offspring. It's not the same. You have a child and you bring that child up uh, uh, in a in a test tube in a lab or something like. You have interfered with that process. So something in that child has been disconnected. You have to go through that process when a child is being born. You have to go through that process, go through that nervous system, that whole process to be a human. And that's why what people never talked about that I've always said that at the time of conception, the frame of mind that you're in at that time plays an important part on the child, on that offspring. Just like people say, oh, don't smoke, don't drink. Okay, we can understand that. But what about thinking? What about the way that you think at that time? That also will affect that offspring. They don't never mention it. You understand? We have to get serious. We have to get serious about life if you want to live. And I'm talking about living. I'm not talking about existing. There's a difference. Existing, you're just here. You understand? You're just here. You're going through the motions. Hey, don't worry about what I'm doing. At the end of the day, I know when it's my time's up, I'm going in the grave. They're gonna bury me. That's where I'm going to be. And you are going to be there. And whatever's in your mind is there with you. Which is, if it's nothing, a little bit, whatever that is, it's there. You understand? But that's not the purpose. That's not the purpose of life. Just think about this for a second. How stupid, and I keep using that word because you know what? I've gotten to the point now. I'm talking the truth. If you can handle it, fine. If you can't handle it, then that's just me. It has nothing to do with you. If the shoe don't fit, don't even wear it. Don't even put it on. And if you don't like it, don't even look at it. Just keep on going. But life is not about life. It's not. Life is about living. Life is about living, developing, regenerating, and living forever. That's life. That's life. This is a physical form. What we see here is a physical form of the brain. What our brain has developed to get life through this point in time. This is everything we need. We need a hand to get food, to feed us. We need teeth that can chew the food. We need hands. We need fingers so we can get it. We need eyes to see. We need a brain to figure things out. If we cut ourselves, our body can heal itself on a small scale. And on a larger scale, if you have developed your mind to that level. You understand? Just like you can run, but as you get older, your body gets stronger, you can run faster. Learn to do these things. See, you know, we have eyes to see, but we also have a a we also have nerve centers that control the depths of our vision. You know, we have nerve centers in the abdominal region. We have nerve centers behind the heart. You know, we have nerve centers throughout the body that we talk to. We can develop, go inside of ourselves, develop from the inside out. That's how you do. You know, you don't build a house without a foundation. But we have got to get familiar with ourselves, our surroundings, and start seeing things for what they are, not what people tell you they are. You know, if we had been on the right track, people, so with all the things that has happened in the past, don't you think this should be a better world? Don't you think this should be better with people? That people living, that people should not be starving, that people should not be sleeping in the streets, people should not be killing one another. I heard on the news this morning, I think in the last 2 days, maybe at least 15, maybe 15, 20 people shot, someone that was killed. You know what I mean? Husbands killing wives, wives killing husbands, killing their children. Human beings supposed to be higher intelligence. We are more like animals. All animals, majority of animals in the wild live in fear. It's animals. We're becoming like animals. We live in fear now. We're carrying guns, burglar alarms, bars on your windows, bars on your doors, bodyguards. What? Humans, man. This is crazy. This is really, really crazy. And then we want to point the finger. Oh, it's you. They doing this. Why are they doing this? You got somebody sitting up on the hill with $1 trillion, and you got got people down here that can't even buy bread. But yet, the place that they come from, your money come from them spending it, you know, coming from they have something that's valuable, you want it, you'll take it, you'll find a way to take it. Even though you own everything anyway. The rich owns everything anyway. This is their system. And it's a good system, but you get to the point you just can't. The money is what controls the people, controls your mind, controls your attitude. If you get stressed up, stress will kill you. Stress will kill you. Will cause you to commit suicide. That's why a lot of people be freaking out. They just don't care anymore. And they're ready to die. That's what's happening. That's terrible when you got humans doing stuff like that. You know, then everybody wants to charge for everything. How can you help someone and you want to charge them? Well, I want to help you. I'm having a seminar. I want to tell you what to do and how you can do this and do this, but you got to pay me $200, $300, $400, $500. Come on, kidding me? You're not helping them. You're taking advantage of them. See, there's a difference between helping and taking advantage of. See, a lot of things is mixed up. It comes under an umbrella. People have to wise up. You have to start doing things for yourself. You got to stop falling victims to these people. There's rules and regulations, rules of laws. If you elect a politician to do a job, they tell you, well, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, I'm going to do this. They do a job, then do the job. And just like you, if you're hired to do a job for somebody, you get in there, if you caught doing the wrong thing, what do? You're fired. Put some clauses in these for these politicians. You can't do that. Santos, he's locked up the other day, and he still goes back to office to vote on a bill. Are you kidding me? This reflects on the people and the other people, and these other politicians that support him is no better than him. It's the same thing. The same thing. They all look out for one another. That's not how it should be. And that's the reason this world is in the situation that's in today. We have nobody to blame but ourselves. Blame ourselves if you do something, blame ourselves if you don't do something. Because the promises, 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 that's all we get unless you have some money. These politicians, I think Santos said he went in when he went to work in government. I think he had $55,000 or owed somebody something. Within 2 years, he's worth over 3, 4 million, 5, 6 million or something. I don't know. He was getting money. He was getting welfare checks, making on the job, making $100-some thousand, getting welfare money. You know, we got rich people taking welfare money from poor people. That's supposed to be going to poor people. They're living in the worst state in America. Don't you know rich people getting money that's supposed to go to the welfare people? Come on, man. Where is the? There's no compassion. There's no. Where's it? Oh man, it's just disgusting, and that's why I get all tongue tied for a lot of stuff. These people, what's going on in this world today by people is just so disgusting. There's no words for it. And just because you may be walking around with a suit and tie on, a thief is a thief. A low life is a low life. It has nothing to do with anything but the way you act and the things that you do. And you know what you're doing. And that's justice. People don't think it is. I keep telling people do not think there's justice, but there is. There has to be. There's universal laws. That same law that can have a seed growing out of the side of a mountain, but that sun would make that tree go straight up in the air. That's right. It don't go out. It don't. A tree don't grow out the side of a mountain and keep going straight out like now. That seed will go out and then will turn up toward the sun. That's the law. It's the law. You know, bees pollinate. Okay, the flowers and transition pollen from here to there to make fruit and vegetables and things. That's the law. It's a universal law, how the universe works to keep the universe alive and keep the universe flourishing. It's principles. It's principles that the universe has to make this universe successful and flourishing life for all that's on it. And it only started going bad when man went bad. Came in with greed and started putting poison and pollution in your own drinking water, polluting the air, killing, destroying the ozone that protect us. You understand? It's us, people. And then you're gonna walk around like you're almighty. You know, this is insane. This is insanity. But you can't see it unless you've accepted that this is all you have. If all you're gonna get, what you get here is all, then that's all you accept that. But then accepting that is nothing because after a while, millionaires be out here committing suicide. So that tells you that gotta be a wake up right there for you. Tell you that they know something. That is something that they see who would make want to make you wonder, stop and think. You know, look at the ex president. He said he was a multi-billionaire. So why you want to do what you're doing? That was the worst to me. I think he should have known better. He should have known better. He should have known better to do what he did. But I still say I blame him for them weak Republicans, man. These people didn't stand behind him. They followed him instead of teaching him. They had a deal that probably the president right now today. You know. But I'm going to say this. Well, maybe I shouldn't. We're talking about the truth. Um, Here's my prediction about the election. First of all, I don't think, it's just my opinion. First of all, I don't think Donald Trump is going to win regardless because it's just too much to bear that the American people, there's enough American people realizing that, hey, guess what? He would destroy this country. He would take this country with the rest of these dictators, and eventually America would be all messed up. And there's too many American people in this country that say, no, that's not going to happen. Okay. And Joe Biden would win in a landslide. But the problem with Joe Biden, I think Joe Biden has been, uh, compared to the rest of the president, Joe Biden has been an excellent president. Excellent. He handled things like they should have been handled, and it hasn't been enough support. But then support that they say, you know, I don't put no credence to these uh, polls that be taken. Because I'm gonna tell you, if it was up to me, Joe Biden would have at least 80%. And based on all the other ones, I'd give him 100%. Well, what's gonna keep him back? Number one, it's his age. But I mean, he take all Joe has to do. Joe just has to just slow down because he's doing what he's doing, and what he's doing is right. You know what I mean? He just got to let him. They got to move at his pace because Joe's mind is good. I don't care. Your body might be frail, but your mind is good. But the thing about it is the excuse me, it's the VP. It's Kamala Harris, and it's enough people. Enough people do not want to see. God forbid if anything happens to Joe, which I pray that it doesn't. And old age hits us all, and we don't know what day is going to take. None of us, for that matter. But if Kamala Harris, if something happened to Joe, and I said, God forbid, hope it doesn't, become president, the American people can't handle it. That's the problem. That is the problem. If Joe had another president, another vice president, Joe landslide. He had someone like maybe like a Elizabeth Warren, or a Liz Cheney cross the aisle. But to be honest with you, I think too. I'm gonna tell you something else. Why is this kept? I think if Liz Cheney ran for president of the Republican Party, that would be an upset. I'm telling you the truth. Right now, it's giving me chills to even think about that one. Because she could win. Liz Cheney could win the presidency of the United States. I do believe that. And I'm not talking against Kamala Harris, but I'm talking politically. That would create a problem. It would make whoever ran make it a tight race, because that's what people don't want to see. They don't want to see that. But Liz Cheney would pull the Republicans. The other, because whereas would the other ones go? Whereas would the Trump supporters go? And And there ain't enough of them to win nothing. They would go with Liz Cheney. And a lot of the Democrats that voted for, I mean, a lot of people that voted for Biden, they voted for Biden. They didn't vote for Biden. They voted against Trump. Elizabeth Warren would get all those suburban voters, some women, suburban voters. She get them. That would change the scope of everything. Shouldn't have put that out there, but that's what I'm seeing. But it's just the truth, and whether people can handle it or not. Just like they can't handle the fact that you get to talking about slavery and racism. Absolute, that happened. It was horrible, horrific, more than horrific. But you got to stop talking about it, and you got to start being about building education, building schools, quality education, apartment complexes. You got to put money together. You got to start working together. Right now, nobody trusts each other. Sometimes I go somewhere to get something, I get treated worse by my own kind. Yeah, because that's how we've been taught. That's how we've been fed into us, not to trust each other. This, that. You can't do that and survive, people. You cannot do that. You got to pay. You got to put some money into something if you want something. I mean, restaurant. I've heard people tell me in a restaurant, waiters tell me, you take that if a black couple come in, you take that couple. Take that. They don't like the tip. They run you all over the place. They don't like the tip. They don't tip much. But you think of it. When you think of it, a lot of these restaurant owners now, they don't pay the tippers no money. They want all the money too. They want to overcharge them. Then they work these waitresses and waiters come in. They don't want to pay them. They might pay them like $1 an hour, 50 cents an hour. Pay them. If they get tips, that's their money because they work hard. That's right. They should get a salary plus tips because those waiters and waitresses work very, very hard. They should not have to depend on tips in order to live. That's something that should have long been knocked off the books. Because these restaurant owners, they make money. They do. I went to a restaurant the other day. I got charged $3 for an egg. One egg, $3. You know what I mean? $15, $16 for a sandwich, $20 for a sandwich. Come on, man. Tell me you're not making some money. God, I went somewhere, I don't want to get into them because it's a business, but there's a line. My point of the matter is, it's a business, right? You have to make money. I get that. You got overheads, you got rent, and some of these places charging too much money for rent. You got to stop all this crap. You can't make no money. A person sitting at home now. Person sitting at home, you own a building. Okay, that's cool. Because you own the building now. Here I am. I want to make open up a restaurant. I got to pay this. I got to pay that. I got to pay water. I got to pay gas. I got to do this. Got employee. And then at the end of the month, I got $3,000-$4,000 rent for this building here. Freaking kidding me? And how in the hell am I supposed to make money? Oh, people come by when you make money. Sure, I can make money. But at the end of the day, you're making all the money. But see, the thing about it is, back in the day, as long as nobody tell us about real estate, how to buy real estate and how to invest, we don't learn that. So all we have to do, we rent instead of owning. Follow what I'm saying? So instead of one person trying to do it, form a little corporation, get 4 or 5 of y'all together and start something. You ain't got to, each one of y'all got to make $100,000 a year apiece. As long as you're working, you're doing that, you're making money. Before you know it, you get 2, 3, 4. Now you're making $500,000 a year. It takes time to build these things, but you have to work together, and you can't do it if you got one person owning all the power. Try and tell people these things, but they don't listen to me. See, so as long as you don't listen, you're gonna be in the shape you're in, but not for long, because robotics and AI is coming for you. Right? Look at the factories. Look at the factories that used make automobiles. Now. How many people are in factories working making automobiles as it was 30 years ago? Robotics, man, it's replacing people. Robotics in deliveries. Robotics is cooking food. Robotics is making food. Robotics is driving the cars. Robotics is driving the trucks. Robotics is operating on the people. Robotics is security. You know, people, you're in trouble. You're in trouble. And then what you're doing also is you're putting all your food in the hands of a few. Gotta eat. Better start conserving on this fresh water. You got to drink water. You have to drink it. You know, the body can handle anything in moderation. I know a guy personally. He lived to be 100 years old. You know what his diet was? Raw beef. He would go to the store, get a pack of raw ground hamburger, and just sprinkle salt and pepper on it and eat that. And smoke 2 packs of cigarettes a day. Lived to be almost 100 years old. That's fat. So what does that tell you? You see, well, he was a mean man. He was mean. See, that's where it's not like uh, vegetarians, plant-based foods can't keep you alive. It's not like meat eaters can't keep you alive. Well, you can live, but the difference is vegetarians are more passive. And I'm telling you something. If you don't know, that's the difference between vegetarians and meat eaters, because your body adapts. Your body adapts to it. Um, and meat eaters, they're angry, man. They're like savages. That's the difference. If a person you won't find a meat eater will have a hard time with yoga. Trying to sit down and meditate. Mm-mm. Every time he sit down and he meditate, a steak will go right past his consciousness, man. If you're a meat eater. Not literally, I'm only joking with that a little bit. But seriously, that's the difference. It's just what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish with your body and your mind. But at the end of the day, this is all it. You know, you could be sitting in paradise. Understand? But if you got something heavy laying on your mind, paradise means absolute nothing. You know what I mean? But you can be sitting in the middle of traffic. If you got peace of mind and you visualizing you in paradise, you're in paradise until a truck or something hits you. But under that point, but I'm just saying, be a little funny, a little sarcastic. But at the end of the day, it's all about the mind. It's all about the mind and thinking about the physical and adapting your physical environment so you can do that and still be who you are. Allow you to be who you are. You can't do that if someone else has control of your life. You can't do that if you're working 16 hours a day to put food on your table, to pay for that big car you got there that you can't afford. In 8 hours you sleep. That's not living, people. It's not living. You live to live. Remember that. Death is a punishment. Death is a result of you doing bad things. And that's death of this world, this physical world. But just like there's a physical world, there has to be a spiritual world. There has to be. And that's pay up time. But anyway, people, I had to come in um, today. There's so much. I'm gonna tell you the truth. There's just so much going on. All this killing, man. It's terrible. It's really terrible. But it's the groundwork. We live in a terrible, violent society. Think about it. All this stuff coming from somewhere. I look at some of these movies, be on the movies, in the home, the blood and guts. I'm saying, oh my God, I can't even watch this, man. I don't even watch it. And I got news for you: the people that make it, they don't let their children watch it because you are a product of your environment. And just like you type something in your computer and they say it stays in there forever, if you see something in your mind, guess what? It stays in there forever. It doesn't go away. You understand? So I hope so. But anyway, people, thank you all very, very, very much and have a wonderful, wonderful day.